So, welcome everybody. I got my audience here on I think it's on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. So, let's talk about the market, politics. This isn't a political show. I hate politics in all forms. But what happens in politics affects you and your family. And I apologize for the camera quality for the rest of you guys. I was just going through camera after camera, and like I'd get everything. It's like, oh, I need to change the angle. And then something would break, and I'd have to start all over again. And this camera here is supposed to be a nice 4K camera, but yeah, I got slickered. So let's go ahead. We're just going to talk about the market a little bit. Let's get into it. Let's talk about these numbers. So the way we ended the month is we had 1,791 units sold, which is not a lot compared to where we were in the past. Median price was $479,990, and we've got about a 3-month inventory right now. For those of you who don't know, a normal inventory is 5 to 6 months. So this technically is a seller's market, but we have been in such a low inventory market for so long that this is kind of unusual for folks. I mean, I'm having people freaking out right now with listings because it's like, nobody's coming to see my house. Well, so many people are putting their houses on the market, and we'll see in a second here how that compares. As far as condos and townhouses, we're at 299,500. I believe that's a new record with a median of 310. 3.6 months of inventory. So we got a lot of units out there. 1,731 for the single family and 5,458. I'm sorry, 5,458 for single family and 1,731 for the condos and townhomes. Let's go look at the numbers, see what's going on so far. So we're right now at the 17th of the month. We're at about an 80% solution, so we can kind of see what is actually going on. And for those of you, I'll try. I'm not as used to looking at questions on TikTok, but if I have some questions over here on YouTube and Facebook, I'll be able to answer those. Let's get into it. So let's start looking. We're going to look at the residential properties. I know you guys can't see it. I don't have enough followers yet so I can show my screen and everything. I'm just lucky to have the 1,000 that I do here on TikTok. So we are going to go in. We're just going to look at active for now. And we're going to look at single family homes and the results there. Ready for this? And why didn't it show? Okay, there we go. 5,979. I'm sorry, 5,000. Yeah, 5,977. We ended the month with 5,458. We are up over 500 homes. Over 500 homes. You know what? These people over here should probably see me. I'm not that good looking, but here we go. So more and more people are starting to put their homes on the market right now because they think it's time or something, and that's driving up the inventory. Thing is, it's not driving down prices. Supply and demand kind of thing. If you look, the prices are still holding steady or going up. But we're going to find out in a second here. So we go in here, and that was for single family homes. Let's go back and we're going to look at condos and townhomes. So right now there are 1,888 compared against 1,731. So we got about 150 more single family homes on the market. Condos and townhomes on the market right now. Okay, this is going to be the tail of the tape. Let's see what those prices look like. So we just go through from the first of the month until now. 265 have sold. So if we double that, let's call it 500 or so. Compare that gives 486. So sales look like they maybe headed a little bit up. And let's see, let's check out these prices. Those of you who don't know, I love to do this live because I hate when people like throw numbers at me and I have no idea where they came from. I want you to see that I'm showing my work. I'll make this a little bit bigger for some of you guys. I want you to see that I'm showing my work to everybody but TikTok here. Hopefully we'll get there one day where you can see this screen. I got to figure a way to do it because I think there's a way for me to share my phone screen here. I'm going to get it figured out one day. So, oh my goodness. Y'all see this? I know you can't see it, but do y'all see this? Look at this. Median close price so far on the, oh my goodness, $318,000. 23 days on market, which is up. Average is 314, so the median is higher than the average. And the average time on market is 39 days. That's way up. But these prices don't make sense anymore. There's a point when it don't make sense. And I'm going to just tell you right now, it don't make sense. Let's go into looking at just single family homes. Oh my goodness. 912 so far, so it should be about 18 for the month. Going to be on par, maybe a little bit ahead of last month, which was not a great month for those you don't know. As far as the number of units sold, just the prices were good. Let's get in here. Let's look at these numbers. Let's look at these numbers. Okay, it's actually pulled back a little bit. So far this month, 478,200 compared to 479,900. We are early, and I mean, we're still in the first half of the month kind of thing, going into the second half. So it'll be interesting to see how the month ends. Are we going to hit the record high? So we've already hit and it didn't make any sense. Usually when the number's that high, I mean, you see something like to indicate it, like for the condos and townhomes, the high price was like $900,000. Usually you see them in the millions. So this is just real interesting. Days on market, median 22.37 for the average. So if you're out there trying to sell a single family home, start looking for you'd actually go into contract about 30 days or so. I'm just going to put it out there, about 30 days to go into contract. So if you think your house is going to sell in the first weekend, it might. I like to go into this a lot, probably too much. Houses sell in a weekend, but the thing is, they got to be just gorgeous. Everybody wants them. And two, they got to be priced right. We got too many people who are not pricing their homes correctly because they want what they want. And there's like, no, I don't want to lose something. You're not losing anything. Trust me. So we got into that. We kind of know where the numbers are now. Now, I don't want to make it too long tonight. I may come back to some numbers, what's going on. But what I want to do today is there is so much going on because we are 3 weeks from an election. This is not a political channel. I hate being political. I hate politics in all formats. But, they say you only say but when, you're trying to negate everything. But I'm not trying to negate anything. We are, just vote. Just go vote. And I'm just going to go over what the candidates are offering right now because maybe they'll keep their campaign promises. I'm not guaranteeing that. They're not guaranteeing that. So right now, we have 4 candidates. I know right now, I hate this camera. I know right now you're thinking there's 2. Yeah, there's 2 main candidates, and then you always got the fringe candidates who make it onto the ballots. So we have one, Chase Oliver. I hadn't even heard of him before. He is the Libertarian candidate, and his housing plan it centers on combating inflation and reducing government spending, which he argues devalues the dollar and contributes to rising housing costs. He emphasizes the need for less government intervention, stating that overspending leads to market distortions and worsens the housing affordability. I don't know. What's worse than the housing affordability is there aren't enough houses. I know there's always person say the housing market is about to crash tomorrow. They've been saying that since housing was created for, the people in Israel in, 2000 BC or something. So what he's advocating, reducing government spending to combat inflation, oppose the misuses of eminent domain to benefit corporations and protect property rights. Okay, on that one, I agree. 100% agree on it, because just because you have a tire, this is actually a real example after the Supreme Court created the most disastrous thing ever for property rights. There was literally a tire shop that was successful, been in that family for years, and they took the city took the tire shop from eminent domain to give it to Sears. Their argument, Sears would generate more tax. Promote private sector solutions over government programs for affordable solutions. I can agree with that. Thing is, private solutions are always looking for a government answer. I'm going to leave it at that. You know what? There's this thing. It was remember back in Katrina, and there's this like one of these joke groups or prankster groups or whatever. I think they're called the Weatherman or something. Well, anyway, you had all these business people, talking about, they need to get the government out of everything, help them rebuild New Orleans. So these guys were able to fix it up to look like they were coming from some government agency. And they get there and they're talking about, we're getting the government out of your business so you can go out there and build the housing you need and affordable housing. And you can see these guys, for some odd reason, a lot of them were wearing cowboy hats. They were chomping on cigars. They were like clapping and everything. And then, so we're going to stop all the government programs. We're going to let you, the private sector, take care of everything. They're like, cigars were, literally, if you could find this video, the cigars were falling out of their mouths and everything. No, they want a government thing. I'm going to talk about that again in a second, one of these candidates. Believes in removing restrictions that hinder private organizations from assisting with housing. I don't know too many restrictions. I think they're just making that up for party platform. There's a lot of organizations out there helping. Okay, next we have the Green Party. So the next fringe party, Jill Stein, she emphasizes that housing is a human right. I believe that being housed is a human right. Thing is, I'm going to get myself in trouble. Folks like this, they want to hug bunnies and give everybody a mansion. Somebody has to pay for that mansion. I'm going to leave it at that. She plans to end homelessness, support tenants and home buyers, and massively invest in public housing to provide high quality, affordable homes for all. When's the last time public housing solved too much? Y'all ever heard of projects? I'm leave it at that. I'm saying I'm going to leave it at that a lot today. We'll let you make your own decisions. Vote. Let's see here. Key initiatives includes home guarantee and adopting housing first practices nationally. Don't know what that means. Next up, she's talking about guaranteeing home housing security through home guarantee, supporting tenants with protections against evictions. That's the problem. If you want to be a landlord, especially some places, it's difficult. What about that guy? The woman who moved in Airbnb in that doctor's mansion out in California. and then claim that it wasn't habitable because he didn't have a certain certificate or something, lived there for all that time and wouldn't pay rent and wouldn't let anyone into the house so it could be fixed, so it could get the dang certificate. These are the problems we have. And what she's got here is not a solution. Massively invest in public housing initiatives to enhance quality and affordability. Okay. Now let's get to the real candidates. We got two. We got Kamala Harris. Y'all all know that. She's the Democrat. I don't want to say that in a sarcastic way. She's the Democrat. Can I say it not sarcastically? So she proposes building 3 million new homes over a 4-year period. I don't know. She come that out because they figured out the home builders are going to build 3 million homes over the next 4 years. See, this is what I'm saying. I'm going on both. I'm attacking them both. You know, Mitt Romney, when he ran, said he was going to create X something or another, and it was like every economist said, no, it didn't matter who got elected. That's what was going to happen. Is she being told that, hey, we're going to, the housing builders are going to build 3 million new homes? It's not just the new homes, it's replacement homes. If you build 3 million new homes and you lose 100, you lose 1 million homes, guess how many homes you got? You got 2 million homes, not 3. She wants to offer up $25,000 in down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. I don't know. First of all, first-time home buyer is someone who hasn't owned a home in 3 years, unless they change the definition and make it a real first-time home buyer. And you know what? As soon as you do that, I'm telling you what's going to happen. Somebody's going to complain or they're going to sue. Think about here, you know, in Nevada, marijuana is legal, but they only allowed a certain number of people to get licenses. The people who didn't get licenses, what did they do? Oh, yeah, they sued. Oh, it's unfair. Well, we're trying to create a first-time home buyer program for people who've never owned a home. It's unfair to me because every other first-time home buyer program is you haven't had a home in 3 years. It's kind of like it was some stimulus check. I forget which one. This is way pre-COVID. This is like when I was on active duty. The stimulus check was to go out to everyone. Who was it under? Was it under Obama? I don't remember. And it was like based on your income and everything, your taxable income. Well, of course, people who didn't have taxable income complain. I'm being left out. You ain't got no taxable income, but you know they're being left out. Okay, so she wants to, but you know what I'm saying is that $25,000 can lead to some real problems because all it does is put money into the system out there, and it's probably going to cause more housing inflation. And it's going to be with folks who can't afford for the houses to go up like they did during COVID and everything. She wants to expand low-income housing tax credit. Okay. Aims to streamline local permitting processes for new construction. That's great. Can she really do that? That's at a state level. And some states, like a New York, a New Jersey, a California, places where they really need housing, you think they're going to do anything? No. So I think it's like government rhetoric. Encourages local governments to allow more multifamily housing developments. Okay, she's encouraging. I encourage you to do whatever you want to do. I haven't done anything. So let's see about Donald Trump here, the Republican. I think I sounded just as condescending when I said Kamala Harris, the Democrat. Hopefully I did. So he wants to emphasize reducing regulatory barriers to construction. There aren't that many federal regulatory barriers to construction. Most of the barriers are state and local, And there isn't as much that they can do on that. We have this thing called separation of powers, and we have the federal government and states and cities, and they all have power. Now, if you can reduce some type of federal regulatory barriers, more power to him. Advocates for tax incentives to spur home building. Oh, that could help. Everybody loves a tax incentive. Thing is, the home builders are building as much as they can right now. Only thing the tax incentives does is give them more money. So if you're a home builder, you'll get more money. Links housing issues to broader economic initiatives. I don't know what that means. I'll find out. I pulled all my stuff up. I'm just giving you the gist of things here. Suggest controlling illegal immigrations will relieve the housing demand pressures. No, I'm going to tell you right now, it will not. Most people who are here illegally don't buy houses. Yeah. The few that I've run across that buy houses, other than dreamers. So first of all, you have to have what's known as an I-10 if you're a dreamer, or you have to have a social security number or something. But if you're here illegally, you can't just go buy a house, so it doesn't do anything. Now, right now, you're going to go like, I know illegals who have houses. They do. They pay cash for them. That's how I kind of learned that you run across somebody who is not from the country and they say, I'm planning to pay cash. I've noticed they always own a landscaping business. I'm just putting it out there. They pay cash, okay? Let's see here. Fewer specific mechanisms detail. Yeah. Get into some more detail down here. You know what? It's all the same. So it's rhetoric you're going to get every presidential election from both parties. I don't know how much of it is actually going to do anything. But let's talk about local economic news for a second. Get away from politics because it's deplorable. So we on Wednesday, I don't want to say this person's information right now. The video on the presidential candidates, I'm going to do something longer on that. And as hopefully, I really hate this camera. So look, it can't even keep up. This is supposed to be like 60 frames per second. Ridiculous. I'm sorry, I just had a lot of camera issues today. So, it's an economist from somewhere here in Las Vegas, and he went over some really good stuff at our meeting on Wednesday. So he was talking about back in '96, everybody said that housing couldn't be sustained and it was going to crash. 2003, housing couldn't be sustained at the levels they were here in Vegas. Because, they said that no one was going to move here. Well, yeah, we saw what happened with that. 2008, yes, the housing prices crashed. And they were crashed for a bit. And year after year, they kept going down. And then they turned around. And now they're some of the highest in the country. Not California high, but high. Next, we got, a lot of people want to move here for weather. Now, look at what's going on in Florida and Texas and everything else. They got bad weather. They just had an earthquake in California. Guess what we don't have here? Big earthquakes. We do get tremors. I'm not going to lie about that. We got 4.5 months of the most brutal summers you will ever have. But guess what's the rest of the month or the year? The best weather you've ever seen. So next, Oakland A's. The stadium has been finally approved. I mean, they approved the stadium after they imploded a dadgum casino. But that's actually all done now. So we are, I know we're officially getting the A's, but now it's official. This is one that blew my mind. Now, I'm sure everybody is dreaming of this. You ready for this? We're getting an NBA team. It hasn't been officially announced yet. So that's why I'm not mentioning his name. We're getting an NBA team. Like the Oakland A's, somebody told me before the Oakland, well before the Oakland A's and well before it was public knowledge, their word to me was, "Yeah, we're getting a baseball team." Really? Yeah. I can't tell you who it is, but it begins with A. That's what the person told me. So he didn't say who the NBA team was we're getting. I don't know if it's going to be an expansion league or what, but there's going to be an announcement coming soon. So Vegas is going to have WNBA, NBA, baseball, we got football, and we got hockey. And we got soccer. Nobody pays attention. Nobody was paying attention to the WNBA until Caitlin came around. But we'll see what happens on that. Of course, we got the UFC. This is home of the UFC. So Vegas is sports nation now. And I remember a time when people said Vegas was never going to have any sports teams because it's like, well, we got gambling. You can't have a sports team if you have gambling that's legal. Well, you see how that worked out. Mentioned, I know the auto auction is here, but like the world's largest auto auction is here. So this is the stuff that's growing Vegas. Music festivals. We just finished like the 70th music festival of the year that he said. Let me get some other notes here. He wanted to thank California for their dysfunction that is growing Vegas right now because it is dysfunctional out there. Matter of fact, I had a very interesting talk with somebody today. I was doing a walkthrough for a client in another state at a new home build, and we got to some stuff, and I was like, it was related to what we were talking about. I want to talk about what we're talking about. And I go, "You ever heard of fatherhood by estoppel?" He's like, "Can you say that again?" I was like, "Fatherhood by estoppel." For those of you who don't know, in some states, not Nevada, let's say you have a girlfriend. I'm going to use that example. It's another reason to get the heck out of places like this, get to Nevada. And, you start the relationship, she already has a child. You take care of that child. You help with the schoolwork. You take them to school and everything. Of course, you're helping clothe and feed that child. And then you two have a disagreement and you break up. Did you know in some states, California, that woman can sue you for child support? Another reason to get the heck out of California. Let's see here. Oh, it says we're expecting one or two more rate cuts, but everyone's like, expecting the rate cuts to do something for housing. Housing doesn't follow those rate cuts. Housing, the mortgages are based on the 10-year bond. And the bond market is more stable, and they're looking out and looking at different stuff. So it's not this little short-term stuff like with the stock market. It's long-term. They're going like, this is where we project things to be in a certain period of time. So he was saying, look at the 10-year bond market if you want to figure out how the economy is actually doing. And he was talking about, when he got here, you go around places and, there wasn't much traffic. Now traffic is horrible because we got so many people here now. That's why you're seeing all these new roads being built. And, I used to recommend people, like when I go someplace, I like to take the 215 because there was like never any traffic. You never had to worry about any traffic jams. Now you got to worry about traffic jams because there's so many people. He's noticed like going to the airport. You can't find parking anymore. The restaurants are way more crowded than they used to be. And it's because they're starting to get so many people in. So when you get people who are talking about the economy is going to crash or Las Vegas housing market is going to crash, we got like 500,000 more people here than when I moved here. So, yeah. A big thing he was talking about, vote, vote, vote. Some of these elected officials, we want to make sure that they do not repeat the mistakes of California. The biggest one he was emphasizing was rent control and how it destroys housing affordability. Ooh, this one's real good. He was talking about how the government, and it doesn't matter, they all lie about it. So you go like, oh, inflation's contained now. Well, it's not. And I've said this before. So he used a water bottle as an example. I'm going to take a swig and then I'll use this as an example since this is what he used. So you go to buy this water bottle a couple of years ago, and it was $20 at Walmart. Last year, it was $25. Well, that's 20% inflation. He actually said 25. He didn't have his numbers right. Or is it 25? Whatever. I did the numbers. He and him right. So anyway, 25%. Yeah, it is 25% inflation. No, he said 20. I said 25. You know what? I'm getting too deep into this. So he goes, okay, so it's 25% inflation. Okay. This year, you buy it for $27.50. You go like, oh, inflation's under control. It's gone down. Instead of it going up $5, it's only went up $2.50. Well, guess what? 2 years ago, you could buy it for $20. And that's the problem you have when the government says inflation is under control. What about two years ago? You could buy this instead of $27.50. You could buy it for $20. It's still going to be $27.50. So he used three economic words. I mean, I took economics in college, but he used one I'd never heard before. So I've heard of inflation. That's when prices are going up. You actually want inflation at a mild level, like a couple of percent a year. This actually fuels growth. Then you have deflation, and this is what happened with Japan. They had deflation for 40 years, and I don't even know how they're a world economy anymore because people don't buy stuff in deflation. Because it's like, well, why should I buy? Oh, I got this here on my desk. Why should I buy this drone here if next year is going to be 20% off? So people wait to make major purchases, which makes things worse and worse and worse. Now, this is one I hadn't heard of. Now, this is what's really happening. Dysflation. So when the price goes from 25 to 27.50, you go, oh, the economy is better and inflation's under control. Well, inflation wasn't really under control. What happened is it just went up less, but you're still paying more. That's dysflation. Why didn't any of my professors, I took like macroeconomics and microeconomics, I never heard dysflation before. So anyway, yeah, you talk about the best world is mild inflation. Okay. I'm just going through my notes and I got terrible handwriting. Oh, now he was talking about like the election and the housing market, how things are like stagnating. We kind of saw that a little bit earlier. He says for him, his concern is the 3 weeks prior to the election and 3 weeks after. After that happens, says it's going to be like, hey, it's done. It's done. I'm just saying, anybody. Okay. We'll see. And he says, the biggest thing is we got a lot of people sitting on cash. We're just waiting to see what happens. He says, if your current goal is to be in a house for 5 years, buy the house. That's from him. Buy the house. If you're going to be in it for 5 years, no matter what, you can't lose. Okay. I couldn't read my last note there. I have bad handwriting. I don't see any questions. I want to give it a second, for people to ask a question or two. As far as for those of you who follow my mouse team stuff, so there was another mouse. but I got him in quick order, because I've been working a long time to get rid of Mouse Team 6. So on him, he climbed up a didgeridoo. I'm just wasting time here waiting for somebody to ask a question. I have to look here because I'm not used to it. Okay, who am I talking to? I'm actually talking to TikTok here. I can't share my screen because I don't have enough. I just got enough people to follow me to just do this live. I cannot share my screen yet until I get some more followers. The folks I'm talking to here are like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. I have enough stuff there so people can see my screens. So they're seeing everything. That's why I'm being very descriptive. So like when I'm going over numbers, you can see what I'm talking about or hear and try to hopefully put it in your mind. And I think there is a way for me to share it, not from the computer, but to my phone screen, and you can actually see it. So I got to figure that out. So it may be like really, not maybe, it'll be really nice for you to see some of these numbers that I'm talking about, so you kind of get concrete in your head. That's who I was talking to. So I did have a question over here, fortunately, before it like scrolled up and everything. I'm not very used to TikTok. So I had a senior moment when I actually saw a question there. So I don't remember what I was even talking about. So thank you, sir, for asking that question. Wow. That's amazing. Okay. I'm just waiting. I want to give people a chance because part of this is if people have questions about the real estate market, I want to answer them. I mean, I've had some like a lively crowd some days. I don't know, my crowds have died down a little bit. And, people were asking all kinds of questions and we'd go like deeper into it and stuff. So we only have 2 people on here live right now on here. Actually, I have more on this TikTok is amazing. I keep getting more people here on TikTok. Well, we got 4 people now. So if anybody has any questions before I go and get myself, it's taco night. It's Taco Thursday at Del Taco. I'll get myself some chicken tacos for dinner. Well, what was I talking about? I was like dancing there for a second just to waste some time. So I had a senior moment. And I forgot what I was talking about. If anybody is looking, remember what I was talking about before I answered the question over here. Oh yeah, it was about the mouse. So anyway, long and short, the mouse climbed up my didgeridoo. Those who don't know the didgeridoo, that's that Australian instrument like Aborigines. I'm like, oh man. So we put something on top so he wouldn't like jump out the top, and we put something at the bottom. We took it out. We put it over the outside over the pool. We're just gonna drown him or something. We just shook it. He wouldn't go out. So eventually, I'm like, okay, you know what? I got him. So first of all, I'll just try to pour some water down it. Didn't do nothing. And then I was like, you know what? He made me mad. I boiled the water. We put it over a bucket. Good thing we put it over the bucket because I don't know what was in the didgeridoo. Because I got that in Australia. And man, let me see. I was so big about 04, 05. I think it's like 20 years old. So I don't know if it was just full of stuff, but I poured that. I'm certain when I poured water down it over the pool to try to get him out and drown him in the pool, he never came out. And just clean water came out. When I poured that boiling water down there, a bunch of black gunk came out. So I don't know if it came from him. It could have come from him, But the black gunk, we put it into a bucket, fortunately. All this black gunk came out, and then, of course, he falls out. He got boiled alive. So those of you who are following me on TikTok and Instagram, my Instagram's over here, about Mouse Team 6, he had a compadre, and I boiled him alive. Okay, it does not look like we have any questions tonight. Let me look over here. I appreciate you guys who joined me on TikTok. I'm just new. I didn't even know I had enough subscribers to start doing lives on TikTok until one day I looked. I was like, how much longer is it going to take before I can do this? And then it's like, oh, I got my 1,000. So follow me on TikTok. Get me to 10,000. You'll be able to see all this cool stuff that everybody else is saying. Okay. Any questions? Reach out, leave comments, and I will help you guys out if you ever need anything on the YouTube when it's here. Those of you who don't know my YouTube, just type in my name, Eric Nuke. I mean, the name is on the same as my TikTok for my YouTube here, Eric Nuke Hudson. No, Nuke was my call sign. I point at my helmet all the time. That I didn't get that out of Cracker Jack box. That was my flight helmet in the Air Force. So just go ahead and reach out to me if you need any help with some kind of housing need or something. I don't want to be greedy and talk all that stuff. So call, text, email. My information is below, and my information is in the what do you call those things? The link in bio kind of stuff over here and over here. Reach out to me. We'll be glad to help you out. Okay, with no questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this, and we are going to see y'all next week. Sorry I wasn't on last week. My I was trying to decide what to do because I was banned for a week from live streaming for showing the that item thing, which was nothing but a pellet. You know what? They're real strict on TikTok, except for talking about the CCP trying to ruin us, but that's another story. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. See you guys next week. Bye.